Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Banao Bharat's Trading for Living Wednesday live session. Third day in a row, we are seeing a very quiet movement and absolutely no volumes, as well as not much of volatility also. Very smooth ride on the upside, but unfortunately, we have not been able to get any tradable levels for last 3 days. This is the chart of Nifty. Again, today opens at around 18,750. Yesterday closes at around 18,775, and from there on very slowly climbs back to 18,828. If you see, looks like from 18,750 we are seeing a movement up to 18,828, almost 30 points movement. But if you notice closely, the first candle high is 18,810. So the moment the market opens, it makes a high of 18,810 and makes a low of 18,750. And for the rest of the day, it just travels within the first candle range. From 750, it looks like the trajectory looks very smooth and upward. But if you closely observe, it is all this upward movement is within the first candle high and low of 18,750 to 18,810. What we have to notice is, if at all we have to buy at the gap up on any given day, if there is a gap up and if you want to buy at the opening candle high, then today's opening candle high is 18,810, and from there on how far it has gone, it has made a high of 18,828, which means it has made, or it has given just about 18 points to the traders in today's trade. Even though it looks like it has moved up by about 78 to 80 points from the lows, it is showing the day's range which is about 80 points. But if you see the tradable range, even if you are taken, there is of course for us 10 followers, today's opening candle high was not a tradable level. But still, if anybody in the morning they come at 9:15 and they say if the first candle high breaks or the first candle low breaks, then I will go long or short. Even for such traders who have waited all day, it has traveled only between the first candle high and low, and when it cuts opening candle high, then it goes and makes just about 18 points and currently trading at 18,825. In fact, the story is same for last 3 days. If you see, this is Monday's low. Monday's low is around 18,624. If you remember, Friday's low was 18,618. So right at the opening, right in the morning, 18,624 was the low on Monday morning, and from there on market travels upward, and today we are seeing a high of 18,828, which means in the last 3 days we have seen about 200 point very good smooth uptrend with not much of big candles and not much of volumes. But still, anybody who watches market for 3 days, they will say Nifty has traveled 200 points. This is on the intraday chart. But on that day, on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, all 3 days, we have not got any signal for trading at all, because on Monday it was a inside day of Friday. All day it has traveled within the Friday's highs and lows. Friday's high was 18,739 and Friday's low was 18,618. So if you see Monday's movement, it looks on the upside, but it has traveled between 18,624 to 18,705. It was an inside range on Monday. It was within the range of the Fridays, so we were not able to do any trading on that particular day. And yesterday it opens above 18,739, but if you see, even if you had traded at around first candle's high of 753, it made a high of 783, which means even if you had traded yesterday at the opening candle high, looks it all day it has stayed above and it has not given any correction. It has traveled and closed at around 18,775 after having made 18,783. Still, if you had entered on an intraday basis at the opening candle high, then you would have just made about 30 points. generally we have to see, like, after the breakout point we see about 70 to 80 points in Nifty and about 200 points in Bank Nifty. So that is the general trend. This, even after breakout, it has broken out yesterday in the second candle itself, and large part of the day it has stayed above 18,750 yesterday and made a high of 783, which means, like, yesterday if anybody has traded, they would have got just about 30 points, and today even after the first candle high you are getting about 15 to 18 points. So that is the nature of volatility that we are seeing in last 3 days. Extremely low volatility. There is one-sided movement for sure. There is gap up and slow upward movement, but towards the end of the day, what it is covering during the entire day is very minimum. On the first day it travels up, but it stays within the Friday's range. Second day it gaps up and travels just 30 points from the opening candle high. On the third day, that is today, from the opening candle high it travels about 18 points. So this is with respect to the movements that are happening in Nifty. But on the whole, if you see, from Monday morning low to today's high, we have traveled about 200 points. In spite of 200 points movement on all 3 days, we have not got any signals for buying. So this is what happens in trend following. We need to be patient. It looks like, very counterintuitive. Market is moving up, how come we are not buying? Market is not giving any sell signals, how come we are not staying long, or, like, selling some puts and sitting idle? But if you see, on any given day there has been no tradable levels at all. So we have to be very careful in such situations, and we should be aware even when market trends. Sometimes we will not get any signals. So that is the key takeaway from today's live session. Markets are trending, they are very smooth, they are very slowly going upwards without giving any major surprises with, like, one candle spikes, but still we are not able to trade for last 3 sessions, only because, like, after having entered the trade, the volatility is so low, you are not getting any momentum at all. Absolutely, the trend is there, but there is no momentum in this kind of a market. So that is with respect to the Nifty chart. And let us also quickly see the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty also has, like, today opens at around 44,310, and at yesterday's low there was a buying at 44,048, but today it comes in one single candle, comes up to 44,055, and from there on now goes to 44,170. And this candle, I was just watching this candle when it happened. It just in a blip, it made a low of 44,055, but it was, for large part, it was staying at around 44,110 or 120. Even if you see the ATP for today, Nifty's ATP is around 18,800, and Bank Nifty's ATP is around 44,153, currently trading at 179. So ATP is around 44,150. It made a low of 55. It has come very close to yesterday's low. It has not cut yesterday's low. It has taken the support and it is going up, but still it is within the range of, like, between 44,310 to 44,048. So again, even in Bank Nifty there is no tradable levels for us in spite of 3 days. On the 3 days, when you see the chart, looks like, there was some good movement. But if you see Bank Nifty from June 9th till June 14th, it is in the sideways market, not much happened. The high is 44,310, the low is 43,991. So within the range of around 350 points is where Bank Nifty has been traveling in the last 4 days. So this is the chart of Bank Nifty for 4 days. Very tough times for traders, scalpers or other type of traders. Maybe they are making money or they are losing money, but for people like us who play the range or who play the breakouts or who play the pullbacks or who play the support and resistance, we are not getting enough trades. But that is the reality, and we should be aware of such realities. Even in a trending market, it might just keep trending higher, 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 or one sided, and then you might miss the bus for a long time. So these kind of occurrences also happen, especially in stocks. Sometimes stocks just open and freeze at 5% or 10% circuit, and they go on a circuit freeze for almost 1 week or 10 days. We absolutely get no chance to enter at any level at all, and after 10 days it would have gone so far, then we would have missed the bus completely, and we wouldn't be in a hurry to again enter into that stock at that high levels. So in a trend following system, especially the breakout systems, it is very key that we enter properly with exact good position sizing and very early into the trend. If the trend is developing in Bank Nifty at 44,310, then from there on the trend starts, then we have to be early in the entry. We cannot say from 44,310 I have been watching and I'll enter at 44,500. We have to enter within 44,350, because once intraday trend, generally the thumb rule is it will give us about 200 points in case of Bank Nifty, and in case of Nifty anywhere between 50 to 80 points. So that being the case, we cannot delay our entries in trend following, especially in the breakout systems, and especially in the breakout levels the activity will be so intense with so much of volumes and so much of quantity being traded. If we are late, then very quickly the price moves from that inflection point. I call it as inflection point or decision point. You have to keep in mind, at those decision points it is very, very critical that we stay there and take the trade as predefined in terms of quantity that we trade, in terms of the risk that we put onto the table. Everything we need to predefine, and when that moment comes, we need to be there with that trade, onboarding onto that trade without much difficulty. In fact, that will be at that point it will be like a Bombay metro train where everybody is jumping in. So I know it is going to be a chaos, but for us, because it is all digital, we need not dramatize so much. All of these things can happen. Yes, of course there will be some slippage at those decision points or inflection points where we enter because of high volumes. Market makers suddenly they take away their existing market orders and they put new market orders, and there is going to be slippages in any breakout system. If you are doing algo also, be prepared to accept the slippages. It's very important we accept the slippages. Even in a trending market or non-trending market, at those inflection points, definitely the activity will be intense and very with high volumes. So there is going to be slippages. We have to factor in all of these things into our methodologies itself, so that in spite of all of these slippages, the known slippages, in spite of all of these stop losses, we can still build a profitable system. So the point here is, no matter whatever the pitfalls are there, we can still make money in market. That is the truth. Just that 95% of us, we don't make money because we make lot of mistakes which we are not able to recognize. But in spite of so many pitfalls, in spite of so many challenges, in spite of it being so tricky, you can still make money if you have a fairly good system with lot of common sense deployed into it. So let us see how tomorrow goes. Tomorrow being the expiry, all action will happen above 18,842, that is last week's high. So for Nifty, just keep in mind 18,842, that is last week's high, and Bank Nifty 44,545. Yeah, last week it was around 18,842, and this week's settlement it has come up to 18,618. From there on it has been traveling for almost 200 points it has traveled. Still we don't have any positional calls defined yet, but watch out for tomorrow's opening levels of 18,842. If it opens at around 18,842, then you don't have to wait for the first candle also, because tomorrow is a settlement day and you don't have to wait for a opening candle high to be taken out. Even if it opens 50 to 70 points higher, you can straight away, the moment you see Nifty crossing 18,842, you can go ahead and buy based on 2 hours chart, because that is where the trading level is. So having said that, watch out for these two levels, Nifty 18,842, Bank Nifty 44,545. Well, let us see how tomorrow goes. If you are liking the content on Banao Bharat channel, do subscribe to the channel, and if you have any queries on any of your stocks in terms of entries or stop losses or targets, do write in the chat box. We will look into it and reply with whatever little information that we have. Let us all once again meet tomorrow morning. Until then, Om Swasti.